Hello, dear students. How are you today? I hope that you are fine and that you are staying safe. My name is Yvette. Are you ready for our English lesson? Today, our lesson is Differences, Our World from Grade 6, Module 5. In today's lesson, we will read about technology and we will talk about technology in the past and in the present. But before we start, I would like to remind you of our classroom rules. I need you to be quiet and to listen very well. Let's start. Look at this. Do you know what this is? Yes, this is a laptop. And what is this? A phone. Very good. Laptops, phones, iPads, all of these are technology. Technology makes everything easier in our life. We can use them to do tasks easier and faster. Okay, now let us read together. The title of our text is Technology, Past and Present. Mobile phones. So, in our text, we will read about the difference between mobile phones in the past and mobile phones in the present. Let's start. Mobile phones were big and heavy. People couldn't surf the net or take photos with them. They used them only to make calls. Not many people had mobile phones because they were very expensive. So, let's repeat again. In the past, mobile phones were very big and very heavy. Also, people couldn't use the phones in order to surf the internet or to take photos. They only used the phones to make phone calls. Also, mobile phones were very expensive. This is why not many people could afford buying a phone. This is in the past. And now, let us see how mobile phones are in the present. Today, mobile phones are small, light, and cheap. People use them to make calls, send text messages, send emails, surf the net, take photos, and much more. So, as you can see, in the present, we can use the mobile in order to make lots of things. We can send emails, we can take pictures, we can surf the internet, and a lot of other things. Okay, what about we read the text one more time, and this time I need you to repeat after me. Mobile phones were big and heavy. People couldn't surf the net or take photos with them. They used them only to make calls. Not many people had mobile phones because they were very expensive. Today, mobile phones are small, light, and cheap. People use them to make calls, send text messages, send emails, surf the net, take photos, and much more. And now that you have read the text, let us match the opposites. Well, do you know what the word opposites mean? Opposites are two words that have totally different meaning. For example, tall and short, fat and thin. These are opposites. Now, let us match the opposites from the text. Look at this. We have big, heavy, expensive, light, small, and cheap. Let's see. This is big. What is the opposite of big? Is it light, small, or cheap? What do you think? Very good. The opposite of big is small. Big phone, small phone. In the past, phones were big. In the present, phones are small. Let us look at the second adjective. Heavy. Heavy. Well, what is the opposite of heavy? Heavy is something that weighs a lot, that we cannot carry easily. Well, what is the opposite of heavy? Is it light or cheap? What do you think? Yes, the opposite of heavy is light. In the past, phones were heavy. Today, phones are light. Very good. And the last adjective is expensive. Expensive means it costs a lot of money. What is the opposite of expensive? Yes, the opposite is cheap. Expensive, cheap. In the past, phones were expensive. Today, phones are cheap. Great job. Now, let us do true or false. If the sentence is true, we will put a check next to it. And if it is false, we will put an X. Sentence number 1. In the past, mobile phones were big and heavy. What do you think? True or false? Yes, it's true. We said before that in the past they were very big and very heavy. Number 2. In the past, people used phones to surf the net and to take pictures. What do you think? Did they use their phones in the past to surf the internet? Take pictures, send emails? Did they do that? No, of course not. They only used their phones to make phone calls. Sentence number 3. Today, nobody has a phone because phones are very expensive. Do you think this is true? Nobody has a phone and phones are very expensive? No, that's not right. Today, phones are cheap and almost everyone has a phone. Sentence number 4. Today, we can use phones to surf the net, take pictures, and more. Yes, that's right. We can do a lot of things using our mobile phones. Great job. Let us fill in the table. We have a table, and in here we will put all the adjectives that describe phones in the past. And on this side, we will put the adjectives that describe the phone in the present. Let us read the adjectives together. Big, small, light, heavy, expensive, cheap. As you can notice, these are opposites. Big is the opposite of small. Light is the opposite of heavy. And expensive is the opposite of cheap. Now, let us fill in the table. Well, in the past, were the phones big or small? Yes, in the past, phones were big. In the present, phones are small. Very good. And now, let us think. In the past, were the phones light or heavy? What do you think? Was the phone light or heavy in the past? Yes, very good. In the past, the phone was heavy. In the present, the phone is light and easy to carry. Okay, we still have expensive and cheap. What do you think? In the past, were the phones expensive or cheap? Yes, in the past, phones were expensive and not everyone could afford having a phone. While in the present, phones are cheap and almost everyone has a phone. So, in the past, phones were big, heavy, and expensive. In the present, phones are small, light, and cheap. Very good. Now, let us play a game. So, in here, we have a mailbox. In the mailbox, we send letters. And in here, we have a laptop. Through the laptop, we send emails. What do you think? Which one belongs to the past and which one belongs to the present? Yes, the mailbox belongs to the past. In the past, people used mailboxes in order to send letters. In the present, we use our laptops in order to send emails. Let's look at this. And now we have a plane and a camel. Well, think with me. In the past, did people use a camel or a plane to travel? What about the present? Do we use a plane or a camel to travel? Let's do it together. So, a plane. Does it belong to the past or the present? Yes, of course. Nowadays, we use a plane in order to travel from a country to another, while in the past, people used the camel. So, the camel from the past and the plane in the present. Let's check this out now. This is a gramophone. Do you know why we use a gramophone? We use a gramophone to listen to music. And this is an iPod. We also use an iPod to listen to music. Well, which one belongs to the past and which one belongs to the present? Let's check together. The gramophone belongs to the past. In the past, people didn't have iPods, so they used the gramophone to listen to music. Nowadays, we use the iPod. Yes. Well, in here we have a pen. And here, a feather with ink. Well, in the present, do we use a pen to write or a feather with ink? What do you think? Which one belongs to the past and which one belongs to the present? Let's see. Of course, nowadays we use a pen in order to write, while in the past, people used the feather with the ink in order to write. Did you enjoy the game? Very well. Well, that was our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Until we meet again, don't forget to stay safe. Goodbye.